Likkutei, page 24, Bamidbar. Okay, we're skipping this parentheses, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 lines from the bottom of the page. Okay, the Alter Rebbe is asking, what is this? What is this concept of Nasiv and Ishma? And also, what did the Matan Torah accomplish when the Ovis kept the Torah before it was given? Thirdly, Matan Torah is seemingly very simple things. Why do you have to have commotion? Kailas and Brokim and the whole thing. So Alter Rebbe started explaining the Chacham's question, the Chacham's question is not that he doesn't know what mitzvahs are all about. The Chacham's question is, why in the world does an neshama need to come down into the world? Why can't it stay upstairs and do what it needs to do? So that the answer the child is, and he starts explaining the whole Megillah, that Hashem can only be defined as Gadol, as great and big, only when he comes into the level of Malchus. Then you could describe him as being great. But the way Elokus is, as in his essence, so then you can't even describe him because he's non-describable. Description is only, adjective is only possible when there is a description of something, when it becomes an entity. Before it's an entity, you can't describe it. And he said, even not only the level of Malchus, but even the level of Chochma Bina. Even the highest level of Chochma of Atzilus. It's considered nothing. Even Chochma of Atzilus is still a world. It still has a definition and an entity called Chochma. That level is compared to the essence of Hashem nothing. So where does Chochma exist from? This is what entered Hashem's will. That level of Elokus should be revealed in the 10 Sfiras, that there should be a level of Chochma and Bina. That's what Hashem wanted. In other words, the 10 Maamaris correspond with the 10 Sfiras. The initial revelation of Elokus is a level of Chochma. It's also even the level of Chochma. The highest level of Atzilus is also only an utterance and an action. Like it says, so therefore, basically, everything in comparison to Hashem is nothing. Therefore, it says in the Pasuk, Hashem b'chochma yasad eretz. Hashem with chochma simply means, with wisdom, Hashem founded the earth. What does it mean? Shebachin is eretz, which is dvar havayid asar Maamaris. Shenivra elam, that even the 10 utterances that Hashem created the world with, you say the shebachin is dibur b'chochma. What is the source, the yesod, the foundation of chochma, of malchus, of speech, is chochma. Let's think down here in a physical sense. A newborn baby can make sounds, but they can't form letters. In other words, speech. They can cry, they can, but they can't speak, because speak by definition is the formation of letters. Now, in order to have a formation of letters, you need a little bit level of maturity, a little bit of level of chochma. Because a little baby, he can't speak until he has a minute level of maturity. So therefore, what's the source of speech? Source of speech comes from chochma. And that's what it says, Bereshis bara Elikim. The Targum Yenis and Yenis and Ben Azil defines the word, b'chuchma, with the level of chochma. The next page. The Gemara says Bereshis is also an utterance, Pirush, Kadesh, because the Gemara's question was like this. The Gemara says, Ba'asara Maamaris nivra ha'olam. The world was created with 10 utterances. So the Gemara asks, if you count them, this week's parak is the 5th parak, right? So the Gemara asks, there are only 9 times a year Melikim. So the Gemara answered, Bereishis nami maimeru. Bereishis is also an utterance. Now Targum Yonasan says, what's the definition of word Bereishis? Targum Onkelos says Bekadmusa, at the beginning. Yonasan ben Azil says Bechuchmasa, meaning Bereishis bara Elikim doesn't mean, according to him, in the beginning God created. It means with Chachma God created. Because Chachma is called Reishis Hagilui. Chachma is the first level. In order for Elokus to come down here, Yehi or Yehi Rakia. That's what it says. Kulam b'chachma asisa. That means even the level of asiya, action, which is the 1000, Malar's kinyanechad, the speech, that has to come from the level of chachma. Bereishis bar Elikim, b'chachma Hashem created. And then after you have the general essence of chachma, nechlak lepratis. Then you come into the other 9 utterances. In other words, we know like this. Bereishis bara Elikim, Chazal tell us that on the first day everything was created. Everything was created in the first day. Bereishis bara Etzem Shemaim V'Soros. Then on the other 6 days of creation, then everything was became revealed. The sun was hung in the sky, the moon was hung in the sky, everything was done, but everything was created in the first day. That's why it doesn't say Vayomer Elikim. It could say Vayomer Elikim Yehi Shemayim V'Aretz. It doesn't say, it says Bereishis bara Elikim. Because everything, Shemayim V'Aretz means the heavens and everything in it, and the earth and everything in it. That was created with Chochmasa. Because in order to have Malchus, which is speech that created the world, you need to have the level of Chachma. So therefore, Bereishis nami maimer, but Bereishis is the original source, Chachma, which is the source of all speech. And then it comes in, and the Targum Onkelos, Bereishis b'kadmin. Like you said, how does Targum Onkelos say Bereishis? In the earlier level. And here Chassidus explains, which is Kadmas Seichel Machshava Geduma. It's interesting. Targum Yonasan says that Bereishis means B'chochmasa. Targum Onkelos defines the word B'kadmin. Now B'kadmin means literally in the beginning. But Kadmin, Kedem, means even earlier. So according to Targum, the way Chassidus learns it, Targum Onkelos that says B'kadmin means even a level higher than Chachma, the level of Ratzeh. Because Kadmun means Kedem, like it was all the way back. That, one second. Which is Ratzeh Elya Makali as Bechinas. Chachma Reishis Hagili, to be the level of Chachma. In other words, Targum Yonasan is saying Hashem, the source of the world, is Kulam B'Chachma Sisa. And Onkelos is saying that it's the inyan of B'kadmin, the willpower of Hashem to want to create Chachma, to create a world. What's your problem? Talk to me.
If it's Dibur and Malchut, there is time. But if you say the Chochmato, Kodem Chochmato, there is no time.
Before creation, there was no time.
So,
That's
It's not talking about time, it's talking about levels.
first of all, there is what's called Seder Zmanim. Seder Zmanim means the source of Zman that existed, Chassidus explains, before Zman began. That's number one. Number two, when you say Alevcha Chochma, Alevcha Bina, so he says, how can you say Alpayim Shadma Kadma Torah Le'elam, the Torah is 2,000 years before the world, when there's no Zman before the world, right? So it says, it means Alevcha Chochma, Alevcha Bina, the level of Chochma and Bina. So over there, higher than time means levels. Like the Rambam says, and how does he say that? The kids say this in the Bar Mitzvah Maamar. They don't know what they're talking about. It happens to be a hard Maamar, but they repeat the words. It's very nice. In the Rambam writes, we discussed this yesterday. When you say some malachim are higher than others, it doesn't mean physically, because over there the spiritual world, right? So it means higher level. When you say that before Zman, there was the Rotz and Elyon to create Zman, it doesn't mean in time. It means in the level of level. In level of world, this is higher, not earlier.
There was Mamash Gashmi there?
No.
There's just Ruchni.
Before Hashem created the world, there was no Gashmis. Even Ruchnius is created. Not Yeshmiyayin, but Ruchnius is still.
It was Tohu Vavoh, sister.
As Hashem Ruchni Yagashmi. Remember we went to this. Ruchni is also created.
Ayin Mi'ayin.
What?
I think the Alter quote this idea of Chokhmah in the previous page, and then he gives an explanation, and he quotes it again over here.
He didn't say it in the earlier page too much. Very little.
I mean, he quoted it again.
No, here what we learned today, he's explaining it. Just like,
No, right, today also.
yeah, but he's explaining that level of Chokhmah. What are you asking? He's explaining Chokhmah and Bina. That it's the source of creation, and in Bereshis he's even higher than that. It doesn't only mean Chokhmah, it means Bekad Musa. Kimasha Chokhmah Nikra Reishis, this that Chokhmah is called Reishis, Berach HaNetzolim VaNivroim. This that Chokhmah is defined as Chokhmah is only as far as we're concerned. Mashenka Lefan of Yisbarich, Ram Venisa Levavus Madregis, that even though Shafilu Shenikra Chakam Leba Chokhmah Yedina, right, even though we say in Pasuk Leo, he's a level of Chokhmah. Remember we learned in Torah Or, in Vayera, the Maamar, Pasuk Leo, right? So over there he says, it's the source of Chokhmah. When you say that Hashem has a level Loi b'Chokhmah Yediyah, I mean it's only the potential of Chokhmah, it's not actual Chokhmah. And that's what it says. We say in davening, Kulam b'Chokhmah Asisa. Simply it means Hashem made everything, Kulam everything, b'Chokhmah with wisdom Asisa you made it. Chassidus is explaining Kulam b'Chokhmah Asisa means everything. Chokhmah and Asiyah by Hashem are both equal. Meaning, the highest level and the lowest level are both equal. Because compared to infinite, 1 in a trillion is the same thing. This is what we say in Likkutei. Seif Ma'aseh Machshava Tchila. The end of action is in thought first, Pirish. Ma'aseh Reish Sagilu, which is Chokhmah, who's Seif Ma'aseh Shakadosh Baruch Hu. That means the lowest of levels, the highest of levels by Hashem is like the lowest. There's no comparison. Al-Kain Targum Unkul Beresh B'Kadmin, which is Machshava Geduma, which is the Mocha B'Chinas Torah, that it should be Reish Sagili, which is Ratzina Elyon, which is Mocha Torah V'Amitzvos. Okay? So now the Alter Rebbe is explaining like this. When can you define Hashem as Godel? It's only when it comes into the 10 spheres. Okay, and over there you have the difference between Chokhmah and Asiyah and Chokhmah and Dibur and everything. Compared to Hashem himself, whether it's the level of Bereshis B'Chokhmasa, or according to Unglis it's even greater, B'Kadmin, meaning even the higher level of Chokhmah, higher than Chokhmah, which means these levels of Elokus are not defined as levels, it's only the source of these 10 levels. But it has nothing to do with it. The mashal for this, in a certain respect, is the flintstone is the source of fire. But there's no fire in the flintstone. Flintstone is cold. It could be even in water for many years. You take it out, you rub it together, you're going to create fire. Why? Because the flintstone is the source of fire. Which means it's only a source, but it's nothing to do with it.
If there's no flintstone, there's no fire.
Enochanami. That's why even this is nothing. In other words, as Chassidus has an expression, Loi zehu ikar elokus mashul beira ilamis. It's not the primary level of God that He creates worlds. This that elokus comes down as creator is a tremendous yerida. Where you find His great, He's going to continue. That's where you see His humility. This that Hashem is creator is a definitely descent, because that's the way Hashem comes into Chokhmah and into Malchus. Correct? Then you have the level of Elokus, which is the source of that. Ratzin, right? But the fact that it's a source of something still connects it. Then obviously you have a level of Elokus that He's not a source. Because if you're a source of something, you have automatically a connection to the thing you're sourcing. And you can't say that by Elokus. In other words, the concept of Shabbos, according to Chassidus, besides the fact that you work 6 days, rested on the 7th, it's a limit right of it. According to Chassidus, during the week, Hashem is Beirei. Therefore, how do we connect to Hashem? You have to work for 6 days. You work for 6 days. Hashem created, we create, we connect ourselves to that level of Hashem, who is creator. What happens on Shabbos? Hashem stopped creating, which means He's now officially disassociated with world. In simple language, during the week is dibur, creation, speech. Shabbos is a love of machshava. Now, there is still creation with machshava, because machshava still has letters, like we learned before in the other Maamar. So therefore, there is a creation world. Worlds don't disappear. So when a Jew stops creating on Shabbos, the concept of Shabbos is to connect to that level of Elokus, which is above creation, above creator. That's the difference between Likkutei and Shabbos, according to Chassidus. We have to, Hidavik b'midei, so you have to connect Hashem, right? That's the mitzvah in the Torah. The Rambam talks about in the Likkutei Torah. We have to connect Hashem. Or I'm sorry, Hilchos Deis. We have to connect Hashem. So during the week, we connect Hashem as He is in the Creator. So He creates, we create. We copycat Him. So therefore, if He creates, we create. We connect ourselves to that level of Elokus, which is Creator. But that's not the primary level of Elokus that He creates the world. That is a level of Tzimtzum. Shabbos, Hashem stopped creating. So how do we connect ourselves to Hashem at that level? We stop creating. Therefore, B'kushi hitiru l'daber divrei Torah b'Shabbos. The Gemara says, ideally, you shouldn't be allowed to talk on Shabbos at all. The Gemara says, with great difficulty, it's brought down in Shulchan Aruch also, B'kushi, with great difficulty, Chachamim permitted to speak Torah on Shabbos. Because even Torah you shouldn't be able to speak on Shabbos. Why? It's very simple. The world, Hashem created the word Dibur. So during the week we talk, we create, that connects to Dibur. Hashem stopped speaking. How did Hashem stop creating? If Hashem created during the 6 days with speech, so then how did He stop on Shabbos? He stopped speaking. Because on Shabbos the world is a level of machshava. So therefore, ideally, we should not be allowed to talk on Shabbos. And in fact, v'daber davar, we're not allowed to talk. 99% of the things we speak on Shabbos, we're not allowed to talk.
Not even
Business
business?
is pikuach nefesh. That's mamish.
This is the best speech. I mean, you can give somebody who doesn't keep Shabbat. It comes from heart. It's very much understanding.
That's how Shabbos explains it. There's other Mefarshim explain why did Hashem make the concept of Shabbos? Because He wants to, if we would be able to create non-stop, then we might think we're God. So Hashem said, hey, one day, guys, you're limited. You can't. But this is, the Chassidus explains it a much, much deeper concept. We have to connect Hashem, either as creator, which is the 6 days of creation, or the level of Hashem, which is higher than world. What?
So how does he maintain the world if he's not
Thought.
speaking?
Thought. So therefore the world's on a higher level. Sambat, they asked Rabbi Akiva, where's the physical proof of Shabbos? He said, Sambat in Yechid, there's a river a whole week throws up stones, and in Shabbos it stops spitting up stones. You know, it's calm. Yeah. Or the Gemara says, Yerushalmi says, Amar saying Mishaka b'Shabbos. Amaretz, by nature, cannot lie on Shabbos. That means a Jew, by nature, even Amaretz, cannot lie on Shabbos. I, the Rebbe, said people lie because your free choice is not taken away. We have free choice to lie. But by nature, because of the Kedusha of Shabbos, it permeates even in Amaretz to the extent that he can't lie on Shabbos. By nature, you cannot lie on Shabbos. So Shabbos is a deeper association with Hashem than during the week, obviously.
That's why we got the brachos from Shavuot.
Oh, wait, were there ever Jews, pious Jews who didn't talk in Torah on Shabbat?
No. Torah on Shabbos, you're supposed to speak. Torah was given on Shabbos, everything is Shabbos. Torah was given on Shabbos.
You were there, you should know.
He slept through it.
You were one of the sleeping.
What?
The Torah was given on Shabbat.
It's the Gemara in Shabbos, in the Sugi of Matan Torah, where the Gemara talks all about Matan Torah. The Gemara says, there's an argument between Rabbi Yosef and the Chachamim if Torah was given the 6th of Sivan or the 7th of Sivan. Okay? So the Gemara says, Bukula Alma, the Shabbos Nitna Torah Li Yisrael. Everybody agrees Torah was given on Shabbos. The argument is, was Rosh Chodesh, when was this, Monday or Sunday? And the Gemara goes through each day what happened until Matan Torah.
Isn't that war? Hashem will have to work to write it up?
No. He didn't write Torah by Matan Torah.
We know that.
The 40 days Moshe Rabbeinu wrote it.
We know the day, 50 days. 50 days after Pesach. It's Mount
Hashem wrote the Luchos. I mean, he did the
No, no, no.
Hakikah.
Shavuot was actually.
When?
50 days, Rabbi.
One second.
Yeah, sorry.
Moshe Rabbeinu broke the Luchos Shavasa B'Tammuz. Not on Shabbos.
In the movie it shows.
And in the movie, that's a big problem.
What about Esh?
The best thing when you teach high school kids that saw the movie, and you're teaching them stuff in Chumash about I had that when I was first teaching in high school 40 years ago. I had not when the kids went to swim there today in the yeshiva. So they say, no, but it can't be. The movie doesn't say that. How can it be like this if the movie says differently?
Matan Torah Hashem just spoke it and it's in Dibur. There was nothing written.
1 second. Does Hashem make it rain on Shabbos?
Yeah,
Is that Chilul Shabbos?
kind of.
Are people dying on Shabbos? Is that Chilul Shabbos? Does Hashem make things grow on Shabbos? Is that Chilul Shabbos?
Yeah, but Matan Torah is not something that's inputted within nature. It's something that Hashem did.
Does Hashem do miracles? Does Hashem do miracles on Shabbos?
I mean, I think if Hashem actually did do Hakikah and Luchos on Shabbos, that would
Who said he did Chakikah?
halachically that would be a problem.
He
I'm
gave the
saying that-
Luchos to Moshe Rabbeinu on Shavasa
No, I know,
B'Tammuz.
so I'm just asserting the fact that he just spoke. Matan Torah was just a big speech.
Vayidaber Elokim is called. When did Moshe Rabbeinu come down with the Luchos?
Yeah, but he got it on the 6th of Sivan.
No, he didn't. Didn't he go up the next day?
He went the next day.
No, it's
He went up the next day to get the Luchos, and he was there for 40 days.
Matan Torah was Hashem making a big speech. That then
Matan Torah Vayidaber Elokim is called Advarim Ha'ela Leimer. Aneicha Hashem Elokecha. It's all speech.
there was fire on the mountain.
Huh?
There was Hashem, there was Esh.
Again, is that the only Chilul Shabbos Hashem does?
No. This is Reshut, you can do this?
Yes, he could do whatever he wants.
it's his
You will make
yeah.
fire, you will make
When whoever it was, Rabbi Kiva, I think, answered that the guy asked let's say it was Rabbi Kiva, I'm not sure, that how is Hashem Mechal Shabbos? How does he make people die in this? So he answered, it's Rosh Hashanah. So the question is, Rosh Hashanah, you can't do all these malachas anyway. Doesn't matter public domain or private domain, you still can't. So what's the answer? So Chassidus explains, what's the answer? First of all, you don't have a concept of malacha by Hashem. There's a famous Gemara, they asked Rabbi Akiva, a guy asked Rabbi Akiva, if he's a kohen, how did he bury Moshe Rabbeinu? How did he bury Moshe? He became Tomei. So he answered him, that Banim Atam Lashem Elokechem. He was, Moshe Rabbeinu was a ben, child of Hashem, like all of us. To a child, a kohen, could become Tomei. So the obvious question is, Hashem is a kohen gadol, not a regular kohen. And a kohen gadol can't become Tomei for anybody. So what answer is this? Huh? So there's a long, famous sikha from the Rebbe explaining it's the concept of Tumah and Tara doesn't apply by Hashem. No, there's a very long print in Likkutei Sichas. It's a very beautiful, long sikha. But the point is, what's the answer to Shasei Yochid? That doesn't answer the question, how can it be Shem Chal Shabbos? But the answer is, the whole purpose of Torah mitzvahs, no. The whole purpose of Torah mitzvahs is to make diversity into Achdus, to show Einoid Mulvadei. What's Achdus? That there's only God. Nothing else even exists. Yeah? So the whole purpose of Torah mitzvahs is Einoid Mulvadei, to make, like it says in the coins, in Latin, whatever there, whatever that, to make from many into one. Yeah? But by the Eibishter, it's anyway Achdus, it's Einoid Mulvadei. So the whole musik, the whole concept doesn't exist.
The whole concept
of malacha, of diversity, making diversity into many into one, diversity into oneness, doesn't exist.
So making the fire or making all these things, it doesn't.
By us, it's a level of pirud versus achdus.
Yes.
By him, it's only achdus. No. Matan Torah was given on Shabbos. It's a Gemara. L'kola alma, even Rabbi Yosef and Chacham both agree. They argue was it 6th or 7th.
Pesach is
Huh?
Shavuot is Shavuot. I don't understand what's the problem. 50 days later.
Did they? No, Moshe Rabbeinu